Well, it's Saturday and it's 4:30. The bank is probably closed. My millennial son probably skipped to doodle. I left my sister's this morning at about 7:15. I got through Colorado pretty good. I shot up 76. I'm now officially on 80 because 80 then goes all the way to the coast. And so I'm on 80 right now. I'm 300 miles from Lincoln, Nebraska, which is the home office for Hobbytown USA, which I've been doing trade shows at Hobbytown since, 1997 was the first Hobbytown show that I did. Yeah, 1997. Wow. They did it in the Cornhusker Hotel. And then they moved to the Hilton in 99, 98, 99. I remember 1999 because I remember going to see, I think Ryan went to go see X-Men. Whenever X-Men came out in 1999, that's when, well, not right now, I'm not, because the traffic is crazy. And it's freight traffic. There is unbelievable. But some trucks are pulling over. So I should be getting to Lincoln, let's see, 80 miles divided into 300. Let's see, figure that one out. 80 miles into 300. So 80 times 3 is 224. 230 miles. 80 times 3 hours, which would be, let's see, it's 230, 330, 445, 30. So I'm doing pretty good time. It's just a long drive. Okay, so why did you pull over then? Why didn't you just stay in this lane then? I tell you, people. Do you want me to show you the road? 5 minutes, right? I wish people could get a real picture of how big this country is. Most people, just so you know, most people, which is about 70% of people, never leave within 50 miles of where they live. They never leave 50 miles. Okay, most people. I have a feeling 80 is going to be really bad traffic because I'm seeing it already, so I'm going to be slowed down immensely. Of course, they're redoing that side is completely brand new. That's a brand new road over there. So, well, eastbound they've redone that road completely. Now they're just waiting to line it. That's 300 miles of road they have to redo. Think how much that costs. A lot of money. Especially in today's dollars. Back in the 60s when this was made, man, things were cheap. Dollar went further, less debt. We didn't have to pay on it. Everything was just cheaper. Things were made in America. 90% of items were made in America in the 60s, early 60s, 50s, 60s. Man, I did a video. I couldn't do it because the internet was, but it's called the Glen Cove Canyon, Glenwood Canyon in Colorado, and it's basically about 9 miles of road. And there's a, if you get on YouTube and type in Glenwood Canyon, there was a documentary done by the History Channel on the construction of that section of Interstate 70. And I think Alan said it was the most expensive 9 miles of road ever made because they literally had to build it into the canyon. It is really amazing piece and so what's happened is they've had to close it at night and on rainy days because there was a fire in the canyon and it burned all the tree and the shrubbery, and so there's no underfoliage, and so when it rains, mudslides just literally cover the road. Matter of fact, you'll see in the video that and I'm going to upload it tonight when I get to the hotel. You can see where the road was covered in mud maybe a day or two ago, and then they've come out and cleaned it. And there's one section of the road that's completely destroyed, and they're rebuilding it. It's kind of amazing, actually. But they literally made, part of the road is on stilts all the way around. It's called Glenwood Canyon. Type in YouTube, Glenwood Canyon construction or whatever, and you'll see the construction, or they got a documentary on the construction. It's only about 9 miles of road, but it's really windy, and I did a video on that, driving that canyon. Not the greatest video, but I wanted to do a little video today for those people that miss me. Of course, I only have 7 people watching. Like, what? Why am I doing this? Why? Why? I don't know. I guess I'm doing it just because I'm bored, and so I can talk to somebody in the car with me while I'm driving. Because I was falling asleep back there. I stopped and got gas. Gas was $3.99. Ridiculous. Don't even want to go there. The Cooper gets great gas mileage. I mean, I went from all the way from Grand Junction all the way up almost to 80. Okay. Well, almost 80. Well, maybe not. With just a half a tank, and then I just filled up again because I love to drive with a full tank. So this side of the road they'll redo probably in a couple years because that side is finished, and there's probably about 20 miles of this that they did. Brand new concrete, about 8 inches of concrete. Concrete is the best road bed ever, especially if you do it correctly. If you don't get cheap concrete, you want to get the best concrete. That's the best road bed is concrete. Asphalt is by far the worst. It melts, it shifts with high weight. So that's my opinion. A lot of semis. Here's a row of 15 semis. Watch, you'll see them coming by me right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. FedEx. That was FedEx, Adam, if Adam's watching. So I can only do 65 right here. So that just slows me down. I'm actually doing 70. Man, a lot of semi-traffic. I didn't think there'd be much traffic today on a Saturday, honestly. Maybe I was mistaken. I wonder how much road is being redone right now. You might be able to check online. If you check, if you look, let's see, where is it? Oh, they put a brand new rest stop here. Wow, that's nice looking. Brand new. 76 to 80, right there, that junction. Actually, they don't even call it, because 76 kind of just drives right into 80. And 80 just goes west, keeps going west. It's really a weird kind of, because Garmin, it's really weird. Garmin shows it as just a continuous, and now I'm officially on 80 going east to Lincoln, Nebraska. See the left-hand side, the right-hand side, a brand new asphalt 2-laner. That's all new on the other side, on the left, on the right. You know, what's amazing is how many miles of road have been laid in this country. It's almost staggering, really. That's brand new, boy. They just laid that recently. Wow. Look at how thick that road is. Can you see the thickness of that road? Isn't that cool? And now it's thinning. Now here's the old road. Now they just covered it. Wow, that's thick, man. They've got that thick. There's the concrete layer right up here. You see it, guys? It's on the right-hand side, the concrete. They're laying concrete right now. Check out that. Brand new concrete. And that's the end right there. Now they got to tear up all this road. That's only 10 miles. Can you imagine they had to do that for 500 miles? Unbelievable. For the love of Mike. All right, now I can do 85. I'll kick up the gear here. 267. Boy, it's cheap here. Man, I haven't seen $2 gas since I left. It's all been very high. $3, $4 in Nevada and Colorado. No reason for that. Honestly, no reason at all. Okay, now if you pull over one more time, van with the red, purple conveyor, I will blow a gasket. There's a KOA campground. Doesn't look too good. All right, so we're headed to Lincoln, Nebraska. North Platte. North Platte is 50 miles away. North Platte. Juliet. Okay, if I break down on 80 in Juliet, I'll call you, okay? I'll let anybody know on 80 that I'm broke down. Okay, please don't say that. Well, well, well. I'm looking forward to getting home. I haven't gone too long, but I saw your camper videos. You got stuff. Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, I'm on 80 at least. A lot of traffic, man. Look at all the semis. You know what that is? It's freight, baby. They're moving freight like crazy, and you're never going to replace the diesel engine for efficiency and freight. I don't care what kind of electric truck you have. You can't replace a diesel engine for freight. Never going to happen. The amount of freight that trucks transport is staggering. Unbelievable. Look at a truck. Look at a semi. Look at how big they are. Look at how much cargo one semi hauls. One semi. You know that truck drivers can make over $100,000 nowadays. $100,000. Now you gotta love to drive, okay? But to me, that's just, especially for a kid out of high school doesn't know what he wants to do. Man, get your CDL license and get in a truck for 10 years. See the country, explore the country and everything, travel around America, live in your truck. If you're single, yeah, go green. Yeah, that's really going to happen. You could almost make $250,000 if you're a graduated high school student and you're a truck driver. In 10 years, you could probably accumulate over $250,000, and you never know, you might like it. No, you don't want to be married, okay? You want to be a single kid doing it for 7 or 8 years, and then you're about 20. I got married when I was 26. Get married when you're 26, 27, maybe. Find some woman, and then settle down. And then you'll have enough experience. Maybe you can do a weekly routes, and then you'd be home on weekends. I'm telling you, they're bringing in $100,000. They can't find enough truckers. There's too much freight to move. There's too much freight to move right now. It's absolutely crazy. You can write your own ticket right now. Write your own ticket. Now, I mean, truck driving. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you it's a lot of fun, and it's not hazardous, especially in the winter, and but it's not any different than any other job. I mean, in the way of hazardous and difficult. It's all what you like. If you like to drive. There's a video I was watching a couple of weeks ago about a kid, and he's got to be in his 20s, and he's a truck driver, and can't remember how long he's going to do that for, but he loves it. He just loves to drive the truck, and he's making a ton of money. I'm not saying that it's perfect, doesn't have its faults or anything. Obviously, you're living out of a camper, but now some of these cabs on these things are, you just go and get a shower at a maybe go at a rest stop. Everything's at the rest stop. And you're only allowed to drive so many hours nowadays. You have to drive so many and off so many. So it's not like, you can push the envelope. They've got a computer on these trucks that monitor everything. So if you go over 1 minute, they know that you're over. So you can't push the envelope. Where in the olden days you could push the envelope and drive much longer. Well, those days are gone now. All your trucks are monitored and now here comes the little van again. I gotta get away from them. Little van. Oh, brother. A lot of people don't drive with their cruise control. And if you want to drive properly, you use your cruise control. You set your cruise control at a speed, and you just stay there. And you try to stay in the left lane, right lane as much as possible. Now, like right here, here's a prime example. So here's a car. Now, I could pull in the left lane, but it'll be too short. I mean, I could pull over here like this, but then I'll just be coming back into the left lane again because I'm coming up to him too fast. You want to get a good half mile of road and then pull into your left lane, right lane. You don't stay in the left lane forever. And you'll notice while I'm driving, I don't stay in the left lane unless I'm switching lanes, especially if I'm driving in the mountains and everything, curves and everything. I like to stay on the inside lane. So I can stay here for a while until I come up on this truck here. There's some cows over on the pasture there. Now I can pull out again. That's it. It's a passing lane. But unfortunately, people don't use it as a passing lane. They use it as their private lane. I like this truck here. I can guarantee you he's not going to pull over. So I have to slow down. I still don't know how. My Garmin says that I'm doing 76, and my car says I'm doing 80. That's a paradox. Just live in that left lane, my friend. Live in the left lane. Why don't you set a 10 up, okay? Set a 10 up, all right, buddy? For the love of Mike. Now, let's see if he pulls over. Okay. All right. I'll give him a break. All right. He pulled over. All right. Now I'm going to move up to 80, 89. I'm going to move down to 80. See, I don't know if I'm going to go to 85. All right, now I can pull over. I got plenty of room. A lot of cows out there. A lot of cows. A lot of rabbit turds, too. A lot of giant rabbit turds out there. proper driving. Yep, there's FedEx. There's Adam's company, FedEx. Oh yeah, that's cow country, all right. There's some rabbit turds over there on the right. See them in the field? Those are rabbit droppings. Giant rabbit droppings. They're giant rabbits. I told my kids one day, Frankie and David and Mark, first time we went down to Myrtle Beach, giant. We saw these hay bales. I said, guys, those are rabbit droppings. Giant rabbits are around here. And then this year we're driving down to Myrtle Beach. We were going out to Mount Rushmore, and David was in the camper, and I said, hey guys, look, the rabbit droppings. And David goes, now Dad, you know those are hay bales. I mean, he just said it very nonchalant. Now Dad, you know those are hay bales. I mean, it's almost like he's smarter than he looks. Now, Dad, you know those are hay bales. Frankie goes, look, food. Look, food. I want food. I want food. Yeah, I didn't stop on In-N-Out coming back. No, you don't want to mess the ambiance of going to In-N-Out Burger. You want it to be a treat. I have been to one in 2 years, well, since 2020. So I'm just gonna. I guess my brother-in-law says that they're gonna open up some In-N-Outs in Denver. See, they don't open up In-N-Out burgers that their distribution can't keep because they only sell fresh beef. They don't freeze their beef. It's fresh. And so their distribution has to be able to reach their stores each day with fresh beef. Okay, refrigerated. So, I mean, it's probably processed in the morning and then delivered that day so that it can be served the next day. It's probably got a shelf life of 2 days maybe at the max. And they sell thousands of burgers. You know, that was funny. So I'm driving. Okay, let me turn around a little bit. So I stopped to get something to eat, and I go, now where do I want? Do I want to go to McDonald's or do I want to go to Wendy's for a burger? And I said, yeah, why am I going to waste my time with a burger at McDonald's? They're overcooked. They're squished like some elephant sat on it, and they have no taste. Okay, they're just a terrible burger. They don't know how to make burgers anymore because they're all over-processed, frozen garbage. Let's just cut to the chase. Okay, I'd like to know, I'd like to compare a McDonald's burger from the original McDonald brothers that opened in California. I'd like to know exactly how those burgers were made back then, okay, and compare it to a McDonald burger now. And I guarantee you that it is completely different. Now, that's my opinion. But everybody watches this live stream for my opinion, don't they? We've got to make sure that you share this with as many people that don't have a life as you guys do, or I wouldn't say don't have a life, but are bored on a Saturday afternoon and don't want to watch football games, and so you want to buy, Des Plaines, Illinois. But that wasn't the original McDonald's. It's the original McDonald's by the McDonald brothers. That is the one that was in California. And I just want to know, even that one, I'm sure that is how was it made back the first time? And I guarantee you, it wasn't frozen beef. I would almost bet on it. Almost bet on it. Because those frozen patties are absolutely disgusting. And they don't. And what's funny about McDonald's, they don't think there's a problem. They have their university, hamburger university in Chicago, that they're brilliant. Oh, look at the things we create. You create. So, anyways, I had a Wendy's doubles, and I asked the lady there. I said double hamburger, no cheese, and of course, I got it with cheese. Now I ate it because Brian, you need to eat. So I ate the cheese. It was okay. I mean, I don't like cheese on my hamburger. So I had the cheeseburger. My sister made these beautiful. Here comes my little VW, my little van people. My sister made some beautiful sugar cookies. Boy, were they good. Yeah, Burger King is not bad, but Burger King, they've got enough microwaves in there to microwave the world. First of all, let me tell you this. This should be the requirement for a burger joint, is that there should not be a microwave in your fast food joint, period. You should not have a microwave. That should be the first rule, okay, that you should not have a microwave. If you have to microwave food, you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so I'm doing 86 miles an hour. Now, this family, they've got this little, they just keep slowing. She's not using her, okay, I'm going to turn this around so you guys can see this. Okay, she's not using her cruise control. Okay, because she slows up, speeds down, slows up, speeds down, slows up, because she's not using her cruise control. Okay, and right now she's in a lead foot mode. Okay, so here she comes. I don't know, they look like hippies. Washington State, yeah, they're going somewhere in their caravan. They got it. I hope you checked the transmission on that thing before you left Washington State, because those are known for bad transmissions. Now watch, I guarantee you, I will bet you guys any amount of money. I know. I know. It was a guy, the woman was driving, a guy. No, that's not nice. That's not it. But yeah, I mean, the amount of times my wife drives, well, she never drives the camper because she won't. But I mean, yeah, she'll slow down here. I guarantee you, she will slow down. Okay, and I will pass. Just watch. Okay. Now I might be wrong, but if she's not on a cruise control, she'll be slowing down or getting on her cell phone and get distracted, and all of a sudden I'll pass her again. I'm on cruise right now. I'm not touching anything. My feet are all curled up. Legs are all curled up because I'm letting the cruise control do it. It saves a lot of gas. A lot of gas. You'd be surprised how much gas you can save by staying off of your pedal. Because every time you touch that pedal, you're spurting. Now it's still, putting gas into the injection and all that. But with the human touch, it's not to be nice. Use your front door, flushing out the state troopers. Yeah, probably right. Well, I mean, where are you? Okay, I'm in Iowa. Not Iowa. I'm almost in Iowa. Matter of fact, I think I'm in Iowa. I'm on Interstate 80, headed to Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska is the capital of Nebraska, and it's about 45 miles to Omaha, which then Omaha is about 5 miles from the Iowa border. So I'm going to try to get to Iowa tonight. I need to get near Des Moines because I've got to go to this guy's warehouse that has over 50,000 model kits. And anyway, so I'm trying to get close to there because I got to get up early tomorrow morning so I can get over there early. Because I'd like to be home by a reasonable night tomorrow, like 9 o'clock or earlier. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm buying another building. Yeah, you could do you can do 70 on 75 on in Illinois. They don't stop you at 75. Yeah, okay. So the other building that I'm buying is basically just a warehouse. I'll show you a video of it next week because what I want to do, I think, in that building is take everything that I have stock of and put it in there, almost like a showroom, so people can I can show everything off. I have a feeling that's what I want to do with that building. Move everything into that building and get the and get the sea containers all set up for shelving to where then I can neatly put extra product on it. Because what I'd like to do is let me kind of just give you my idea. Well, it isn't really small, but let me kind of give you my vision of where I want to take this whole business to. All right. And I'm not saying I'm the next J.C. Penney, but I'm going to use J.C. Penney as a prime example. J.C. Penney, when he started in the, I think, 1940s or 50s, his stores were just packed full of product. And they were just a general department store that carried everything. And then what happens is, the founder dies, and you get these other people with visions that are completely different than his vision. And then, in the 70s, J.C. Penney's was really a everything store. They had a auto parts department. They had a J.C. Penney's auto center. You could get everything done at J.C. Penney's. Same as Sears. And they had a hardware department. They had appliances. They had detergent. They had a toy department. They had literally every department. Yeah, it costs a lot of money, but you turn a lot of money too. So my ultimate vision, and I've had this vision for a long time, is to basically create. I really shouldn't say this to you guys, but I. Oh my gosh. Oh, do I really want to say this? Say it. All right, my vision. I've had this vision for at least 20 years, if not maybe 10. And that is to create too late, is to create a department store chain called BC and Young. BC Young. kind of like J.C. Penney's, but B.C. Young, or Brian and Son, Brian's and B and B&S. You know, B.C. Young is really what I've always dreamed about, called B.C. Young. And just going back to the old-fashioned department stores that were back when I was a kid. Because department stores when I was a kid, they basically had, I don't know if they were 8x8 or 4 or 6x6. They were 6x6 gondola tables. And they didn't have shelving units, okay? Shelving units, I think, are the worst things in retail stores. Anyway, these square tables, you had all this open space that you would stack product in. And then they had, in the center of this table, they had a center post that they could do one more shelf of product on. But you could merchandise a ton of product that way. Okay? And then some of the had little shelf dividers or glass dividers that divided in smaller products. You could put thousands of little products inside of it. You're adding more cost when you do that. No, everything has a cost. It's volume. It's cash flow. How much can you turn? Okay? How much can you turn? And I've been very good at learning to turn things. Okay? Buying great deals and just, selling them at a good profit. And my stores would be located in downtowns. Like, for example, there's like Fostoria, Ohio. Let me give you two towns, Fostoria and North Baltimore. All right, so Fostoria is a fairly large town. A lot of people in town. There used to be a Kmart. There's no department store in that town now. Now, they have a Dollar General, but none of them are downtown. They have all this property downtown, but nobody has a downtown store. And that's where I'd put my first one, is in Fostoria or North Baltimore. Okay? And then just replicate them in every downtown, small downtown. I'm telling you, I believe in it. There could even be one in Wayne. The first store could be in Wayne because there's a building that's for sale. These people that own, there used to be a drugstore there, and their whole building, they want to sell their whole building. The problem is that I'm doing it, and believe it or not, most people, when they get successful, they do it in their 60s, believe it or not. And I'm not saying I'm not successful before that, but, I'm 60 and all these things are happening now when I'm 60. Okay? And, but, things are happening now that I couldn't do it when I was younger. I didn't have the cash flow. I didn't have the credit. Sounds like the 50s. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, because I truly believe that's what type of retail we're going back to. I don't think the days of Amazon are long. Let's put it that way. I remember going to this one department store with my grandmother in New Lexington, Ohio, and Tulliver, not Tulliver. Well, Grandma worked at Tulliver's, and Tulliver's was just this general store that just had tables, had just product on tables after tables after tables, and people would come into this place like droves. It only lasted so long. Anyway, that's kind of my vision. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen in the next 5 years. We're going to, move slowly. We're trying to get all these exclusives done. The exclusive kind of have set things aside a lot, and we're trying to get these things out. I got to talk to Ryan tonight, or maybe after I get off, and figure out what he wants to do. And we got to put these up for sale on Monday. I don't think he wants to. And then I got to call Craig on Monday and find out what are the, the rumor or the, China, is their production being disrupted? Are they finding their factory? Are they running a 5-day a week? Or are they shut down half a week? Because that affects everything. If they're only working 2 days a week, oh my gosh. So I gotta check all this stuff out and find out. And then we've got a ton of product now. I mean, getting more people into slot cars, getting more people into toys. It's not just slot cars, it's toys in general. It's the whole envelope of hobbies and toys and fun stuff and there is so much out there. ASD show, for example. So ASD, I could go to ASD in March, and I could fill a 30,000 square foot retail store within 50 seconds by going to ASD. That's how fast I could fill it. And I could beat 90% of Dollar General's prices. They got too much shelving units. The whole building, the whole thing is shelving units. I think shelving units were the biggest. It divides the store and it cuts your sales. I really think so. Now, Floyd, when I worked for Floyd at Ben Franklin's, he created these wooden things that would attach to his shelving units where you could get more stuff on top of them. I always thought that was funny. He'd always have me do a job. He'd go, Brian, I want you to do all this. And about an hour, I'd come back, okay, 1 hour, what do you want me to do? He goes, you got that done already? Yeah, I got it done. He'd go check it, and he goes, yeah, it's done. He goes, then he would just have me do dumb things just to keep me busy. Parents are realizing that tables are not good for our children. Myself have been trying to modulate my kids into old hands on hobbies. Yeah. Well, that's the whole point. Ryan's saying we're selling a lot of these science kits, okay, which are really cool because I think this science company that I got, they really got some cool stuff, and we're selling it, which is great. I tell people, listen, I know there's a tendency to want to shop at Walmart, a quick toy, but when I had Professor Tinker's workshop, ladies would come in, old ladies, mothers, grandmothers, and I would tell them, the first thing I'd say is, how old is your kid? Well, he's 7. I say, come here. Here you go, this right here. This is perfect for a 7-year-old. He will like this, and this is a fun little toy. And they go, okay. I tried to make it stress-free as I possibly could. Every time someone would come in, how old are your kids? What ages? Bing, 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 bing. I'd pick 3 items. There you go. Perfect. They'll love them. You'll love them. And that's what I've been doing for 30 years, 40 years. And that's what the store is kind of all about, too. I mean, here we come, guys. Guess who I'm in front of? Guess who I'm in front of, guys? Now I have to pass them. Oh, my gosh. Isn't that funny? Oh, my goodness. I knew this was going to happen because she's not on a cruise control. She's talking now, and her foot is off the accelerator. Okay? Now watch. She's going to speed up. The lady, the cat lady. Yes, she's the cat lady. She's going to speed up. I guarantee you she'll speed up in about 20 minutes. You want to see her pass me, you just watch. Because she's going to, I get them every time when I'm driving like this. I get one person like that. They don't live on their cruise. I haven't touched my pedal, okay, in 20 minutes. I haven't touched my pedal. And then I have a really cool feature on this Mini Cooper that I touch my cruise control, and every time I push the button on the minus button, it automatically slows me 5 miles. Automatically. So if I push it twice, it's going to slow me by 10 miles. And then if I push the plus, it's going to plus me by 5 miles. So I don't have to touch my pedal hardly ever. Just so you know. Just so you know. So this is Interstate 80. 80 was the most important highway that they built. It cuts through Iowa, it cuts through Nebraska, and it is just basically a 4-lane superhighway. And they wanted to get troops from the east to the west as fast as they can in case the Russians invaded us. That's why the interstate system was built. I guess Eisenhower took it off the Autobahn from Germany. He thought it was such an genius. Hey, let's make one of those in America, and let's make it a super highway. We're not just going to call it a highway. We're going to call it a super highway because we are super in America. We do things super. And so they created the interstate system. The interstate system, which is a monumental undertaking, just so you guys know. And there are so many bugs, it is amazing. I just cleaned my windshield before I stopped. They close 80 in the winter when there's blizzards because they don't want to plow it. They can't plow it. Well, you watch some videos of snow blizzards on the YouTube there. Whoa, there's some good ones. So we got 12 people watching, 13 thumbs up. Well, that's great. I'm surprised that I got only 12 people out of 320 million Americans. I've got 12 people. Bug murderer. Yes, bug murderer. And if I turn on the windshield wiper fluid, it's going to get all mucky. They'll all get splurred over the place. Let's try it. Let's see how we can do this. Usually I squirt it, and I let it get soaked. Brand new concrete we're on. Brand new concrete. Well, there we go. Kearney, 94 miles. Kearney is 94 miles. I think I'm in Nebraska now, if I'm not mistaken. I think 80 is right on the 80-76 is right on the border of Colorado and Nebraska. I think I'm in Nebraska. Yeah, I'm in Nebraska. I just saw the Nebraska flag. Plus, there's a lot of corn in here. Nebraska is corn, baby, corn. Corn huskers. Why do you think they call them the corn huskers? They call them the corn huskers in Lincoln. They got a hotel called the Corn Husker. Okay, here comes a guy that's doing. I was gonna pull over, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna let him pass me. Now, if he could pass me before I get up to this truck, I won't have to put my brakes on. And I think I can do it. Here's some rabbit turds or rabbit droplings there. Okay, so that guy's doing at least 90. Okay, so I'm going to put my blinker on. We just passed some rabbit droplings right over there, as David calls them. Now, Dad, you know those are hail bales. Hell's bells. All righty, so I'm Brian Young with ProTinkerToys. And I'm driving back, and you guys are watching me live stream. Why, I have no idea. At least I'm talking to somebody, and like Tim would be sitting here. So at least I'm having a conversation with you guys, and just lost connection. You got to send me messages that are one sentence. I can't read them that fast because I have basically 5 seconds before it disappears. So please, let me make this announcement one more time. If you're going to send a message to me while I'm live streaming and I'm the only one here, try to keep it to one sentence or one line because it's easier for me to read. Okay, now, if you want to break your comment up into a couple lines, that's okay. But try not to make a paragraph because I can't read the paragraph. It's too much. Do you understand what I'm saying? Huh? Does everybody understand Brian Young 2024? Brian Young 2024. What, president? Well, that's a good question. You bring that up. So I've accomplished everything that I've wanted to do in life, okay? I was a radio talk show host. I had a radio talk show for about 6 months. It was pretty funny, actually. I actually did pretty good. I couldn't believe how many people were listening to me. And I funded it all by myself. And so, I've had a retail store. I've driven around the country. I've really done everything. I ran for mayor in Bowling Green. I've done everything that I've wanted to do. And there's one thing that I've not done, and that's become president or a senator or a governor. But it would take more than just me to do it. I'd need a okay, I'm going to slow down by 5 miles, 10 miles. I got to slow down another 5. This guy, pickup truck, is really being a jerk. Why is he being so slow? Unbelievable. So I had to slow down by 15 miles. So I had to push the button 3 times. Now this guy just come right out and slid into my lane. Oh, there's a state trooper here. Okay, let's see this. So everybody's afraid because, all right, unbelievable. Oh, come on, people. For the love of Mike. I mean, the speed limit is 75, people. Okay, he's not stopping you for 80. Okay, it's impossible. All right. He might as well just get off the road because he's slowing. This is the problem with troopers when they're on the road. They slow traffic down. It creates a traffic jam. I'm serious. It never fails. Everybody is touchy. Oh, I'm going to get a ticket. No, you're not. Okay, Huey and Dewey up there. Let's get going, Huey and Dewey. Are we just going to sit there and twiddle our thumbs? Twiddly. Move over then. Just move over, you moron. Come on, truck. No, he's going to stay right there. He's determined to stay there. Yep, he's determined. Unbelievable. Stay right in the left lane, buddy. Yep. Nice job, Sherlock. His blinkers aren't even on right. He's still in the left lane. Unbelievable. How about the slow down and turn down the radiator, LOL. People like to rubberneck. Oh my gosh, yes, yep. They love to rubberneck. And you really. So I was coming out of Colorado, out of the mountains, and all of a sudden traffic stopped. I mean, it stopped. So I'm sitting there, and it's just moving really slow for about a mile. And then when it's over, there's nothing. There's no traffic jam or no traffic accident. There's nothing. And I'm thinking, what the heck happened here? And it's people. They just don't know how to drive. I don't know what to tell you. I know Robert Fish wants me to be arrested, so I guess the best thing would happen would be that a patrol trooper would stop me and we could do a live feed with the trooper. That would be kind of funny, you know that? I'll just say, excuse me, trooper, I'm doing a live feed right now. I hope you don't mind being in it. But yeah, you could give me a ticket if you want. I don't care. I haven't had one in 10 years. I need one as a memorabilia. What, sir? You haven't had one in 10 years? Yes, sir. I have not had a ticket in 10 years because I drive the same everywhere I go. Oh, talk about your radio show. Okay, so um, I started a radio back in 1990. Okay, that was the same year that we lost Derek. Derek was our first child that we lost. He died of sudden infant death syndrome. And I remember waking up. We lived in a little trailer. I woke up that morning to open up my newsstand. I walked. He was in the dining room because he wouldn't sleep in the night. And I walked by him, and I was going to kiss him, but I didn't that day. And I went to work, and then my wife called me, screaming her head off. It is the worst day. Anyway, so I had started the radio show, I think maybe 6 months before that, and it was just basically I just was talking about political things. It was just my radio show. I mean, I talk about how, things, stupid things, and I was talking about one day I was talking about police officers about speeding tickets and a and a state trooper called. He said, "Yeah, you're probably right. You are right on certain things. That we don't stop everybody. And you got to be speeding in a certain speed limit on it." Anyways, he won a dinner ticket from me, and so we took him out to dinner one night, my wife and I and his wife, and it was really cool, really fun time. And then when Derek died, then I just didn't have the attitude or to do the radio show anymore. Plus, I didn't have a producer. I was just doing it on my own. It was coming out of my money. I was just paying for advertising. But I wanted to do it. That's what I've always said to if you've got something you want to do it. Don't sit around thinking, I wish I could do that. Do it. Don't say you can do it. Motivation, I think that's part of the motivation. I've always done things that people have told me I can't. Oh, you can't do that, Brian. Oh, that's not going to work. Well, no, don't tell me that. If you want me to fail, don't tell me that. Tell me, yeah, it's going to work, Brian. Put more money into it. Yeah, that's a good idea, Brian. You paid for your own commercials. Yeah, I did. No, actually, this is really funny. So I went to Family Video Store, and I said, hey, would you like to advertise on my radio show? And this guy actually had the gall to tell me. Now, this was 1990. This was when Rush Limbaugh was just getting started by 3 years. And so, really, talk radio had really not taken over yet. He goes, nobody's listening to radio. Why would I want to advertise on radio? We want people to be watching videos. I go, but dude, this is late at night. My show starts at 10 o'clock. Or I think it was 9 o'clock. It was on Sunday night. He goes, no, I don't want to advertise. And then 9 years later, they're advertising on the Rush Limbaugh. I couldn't have called that more right. Ah, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Funnier than anything. It was just funnier than anything. WRD Red 88.9, I think it was, in Toledo. It was a little tiny radio station over by Oregon. It was red, 89.9 red, and they let me do my talk show, and I did, I think, about 10 episodes. And that's when Derek died, and I just didn't have I didn't have a sense of humor that time. As you can understand, Derek would have been 1990. He'd be 31 years old right now. He'd have been 31. It's funny what you look at life and everything. Yeah, 89.9 red. Yeah, that's it. Where the commies come and get whacked. Oh, I was all into. Oh my gosh, I was just, because see the issue. So this is 1988. Okay, 1988. And I had a customer come into my store. So I've been open 2 years. And I had a customer come into my store and said, Brian, you got to listen to this guy on 1370. His name is Rush Limbaugh. He sounds just like you. And I remember telling him, I go, there's nobody that sounds just like me. Okay? I am one of a kind. And so I started listening to Rush Limbaugh that day, I think. And I remember the day, because he fired Bo Snerdley, something about football, and he told him to go downstairs outside of the EIB building for like an hour. And so Bo Snerdley, which is, I think it was Bo Snerdley, because then there was another Snerdley, it's his brother, that was the first helper that Rush had. That was the first show I watched, I remember. And I watched it ever since. So I haven't watched the new. I don't like the two new guys that are doing it. It needs to be one guy basically, and they need to find a person that is unique, that can carry. There's only going to be one Rush Limbaugh. Okay, and you have to find somebody that is going to be his mantle going on. And I don't think and I'm not. This is nothing against Mark Buck or what's his name, and they're nice guys. They're just not. They're not going to carry the show. I haven't watched maybe 2 episodes of it. That's just me. Maybe they do continue, but I'm not a fan of them. That was the story of my radio show. I then, Young's Newsstand kept growing. I kept making lots of money. I didn't save as much as I should have when I had Young's Newsstand. That's one regret I have, is I didn't save enough. But, you can't go back. You can only go forward. So I'm going forward. I don't have any regrets in life. I've got things that I probably should deal with. But everybody has their little, what did Paul call him? He had his little thorn in the flesh. Let me hear your radio commercial voice. Oh, this was my regular voice. One guy says you do have a radio voice. I do have a voice that people like to hear, I think, maybe not. But I know my radio voice, it gets people into my store, and I know my television commercials always work. Oh, I would do radio commercials like so when I had Young's Newsstand, I started doing Pee Wee Herman commercials because that was really popular in 1987 to 1992. And so I would do, hey, I'm Pee Wee Herman. Come on in, guess where Pee Wee Herman likes to go? He likes to go to Young's Newsstand. I've got comic books. I got video games. Ha ha ha. And so I would do Pee Wee Herman. And I'm telling you, I would get so many kids coming to Young's Newsstand. And then I would do the presidents. I do, but Bill Clinton comes to Young's Newsstand. And I did one commercial. Where does President? I go, where does Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, and George Bush, where do they go to have fun, or where are they friends at? They all come to Young's Newsstand. And I had one commercial where I go, I have Bill Clinton pick up. I did a commercial where Bill Clinton was in the car with Ronald Reagan was driving, Bill Clinton was in the back seat, and they were going to pick up George Bush, and so Ronald Reagan goes, well, come on, Bill, let's go get George to go get some donuts at Young's Newsstand. Okay, let's go. I don't think he's going to want to get in the car with me. I'll get in the back seat and hide. And so Ronald Reagan pulls up into George Bush's front yard, and he honks the horn. Come on, George, let's go. I'm not going to do it with you because we're going to get Bill Clinton, and I don't want to be near him. Not going to do it. So he gets in the car, and then Bill Clinton jumps up and goes, how you doing there, George? I knew it. I knew you were going to get in the car here. And so it was just a fun skit. I did like 4 or 5 of those for this Christian radio station, for their station, but then I did some for my newsstand too. Oh, I did so many commercials. See, one thing about me, I don't write a script. I cannot write a script because my mind is moving so fast in talking that I got to say it. You sound like Dana Carvin doing George Bush. Well, I haven't done George Bush in a long time. Well now. My Ronald Reagan was always the best. Well, you know, I'm not going to tell you that, but that's really what it is all about. We're going to get Saddam Hussein here. We're going to bomb him into oblivion. Not going to be any quartering here. He's done. Oh, well, 245 miles. Boy, it doesn't seem like I've gone anywhere. Des Moines, Iowa. Omaha is 247. Yeah, that's what I thought. Des Moines is 385 miles. What time is it? It's 5 o'clock, 5:53 in Ohio. It's either 4:53 or 3:53. It's 1 hour or 2 hours behind. I can't remember when it changes. I think Lincoln is 1 hour behind or 2 hours. around there. Kind of slow traffic now. It just goes and goes and goes. Oh boy. So that's kind of my history. Tacoma. Toyota Tacoma. My brother, my nephew works for Toyota, engineer for Toyota. His name is Jacob. They live in Texas. Toyota moved their entire operation to Texas. Can you imagine how much taxes the state of Illinois or California lost when Toyota moved to Texas? Oh my God, it's almost ridiculous how much tax revenue they lost going to Texas. All the people, number one, that were working there, all that income dried up. Eyes on the road. Eyes on the road. They are on the road. Where? Brian, where did you grow up? Well, we grew up, my dad was in the grocery business, and he worked for a couple grocery chains in Ohio and Illinois. And my early years, we lived in Crown Point, Indiana, and South Bend. And then we moved to Northfield, Ohio, near Cleveland, and we lived in this really nice house. I really loved it, actually. And then we moved to Toledo because he worked for Food Town as a vice president of Food Town, and we lived in Ottawa Hills. Ottawa Hills was I won't say the richest part of Toledo, but it was the high-end part of Toledo. And he then had a falling away, got an affair with a woman, and then my parents divorced. He moved to Iowa. My mom then moved to an apartment. And then 1969 to 1971, I lived in Iowa for 2 years. I think a year and a half I lived in Iowa. It wasn't okay. I everywhere I've lived, I really haven't. I had a fight with this kid. This one kid in Iowa. So I must have been. Well, I had to be either 10 or 11. And there was this big fat kid that was constantly picking on me. And so I was walking home from school, and he said, "Come on, I'll beat you up." I said, "You know what? Okay, fine. Let's just do this." And I said, "You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to make you hurt. You might beat me up." And I said, I remember saying it because I remember the fight. I said, "You might beat me up, but I'm going to make it very painful for you." and we got into a fight, and I made it painful for him. He never picked on me again. And that's one thing I learned. I learned from that. I learned that, you know what? If somebody picks on you, if you're a bully, and I just said, okay, fine. If you want to fight me, fine. And I would say this, and I think I had it twice. I did it twice. That if you want to fight me, okay, you might win. Okay, but I'm going to make it very painful for you to win. It's not going to be easy. You're going to say to your, why did I do this? And in high school, junior high, I would have kids, do that, and I'd slap them back. One kid constantly, and I just hauled off and slugged him. And I went to the principal's office with him, and he said, listen, he was picking on me, he was smacking me in the head. I did fine. I don't care what punishment I got, at least he's not going to do it again. And sure enough, none of the people that ever did it again. Of course, then I had guys thinking, oh, Brian's tough, but I'm going to go. And I say, you know what, if you want to do this, fine. I'm not going to, one guy never showed up. And so I lived in Ottawa Hills, then I moved back. We moved to Iowa, then I moved back to, I lived in an apartment called the Imperial Trace Apartments next to Franklin Park Mall, which was probably the funnest 3 years of my life. 1971, probably to 73, when my mom got married to Mac Miller. Those were the 3 funnest years of my life. Is living next to the Franklin Park Mall when it was being built and when it opened. Because that's all I ever spent after school was in the Franklin Park Mall. Making money, figuring out how to make money. That's where I got into Thunder Jets. That's how I got into girder and panels sets. That's how I got into building TV sets, repairing TV sets. It was my most memorable time of my life. Collecting bottles, making so much money on bottles. When the deposits on the bottles, I'd go through when the workers were at the building the Franklin Park Mall. I would go through there. I would collect 200 bottles, and I'd take them over to Joseph, which was right across the street, and get $10, $20. That was a lot of money, guys, back in 1971. A $20 bill is like $100 bills now. Do you realize how much slot cars were back in 71? Little Thunderjet was $7.89. That's what I did. So that's what I did as a kid. And then my mom married Mac. We moved to Bowling Green. Bowling Green was fun, too. I met my friend Greg Redmond. He lived across the street from me. And we just basically did everything. Played Monopoly, Risk, nonstop. We created our own games. We just, we dug underground forts in the field next to the house. I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever had more fun as a kid. I wouldn't pass that up for anything. I had so much fun as a kid. It is unbelievable. My dad could never understand I remember him coming to my news at the workshop. So I'm talking the workshop now. Where we got only 12 viewers. What happened to all the people? Oh well. So I'm telling the story to 12 people. Wonderful. So my dad comes and visits us in 2001. I think it was 2001. He comes into my workshop and he sees all these toys. Because I was working for Irwin Toys at the time. And all these toys, and he's sitting in a chair. I remember him sitting in a chair, and he looked around, he looked at all the toys and everything. He looked at me, he goes, this is what you do, huh? I go, yeah, this is what I do. I sell toys. He goes, really? It's kind of funny that this is what you do for a living, is selling toys. Because I was always obsessed with toys. That's all he would ever buy me is toys. And so I'm selling them now. And he's just sitting there. Here's a guy that, really, he was a typical Slade Boy guy. I know he kind of changed in the '60s, but you know he loved sailing, he loved football, he loved boating. Okay, and so whenever I spent the summers with him in the '70s, you know he had a cabin cruiser, and we'd always go out cabin. I loved it too. I mean, I love boats. But he had a cabin when I was really young, before my mom and him got divorced in the '60s. He had a sailboat, and we used to sail to Cedar Point from Toledo Yacht Club. He was part of Toledo Yacht Club, and we would sail all the way to Cedar Point, which is a big deal. My dad really knew how to do things. He just got screwed up with the wrong woman. You know, it happens to people, I guess. He was a nice guy. I don't know if he got saved when he died last year. I don't know. That's between him and God, but I don't know. But you know, he was never a mean guy. I do remember that. He was never a mean dad. He never, you know, when he drank, but he never hit me. He never was mean. He was always a very calm guy. I mean, I won't say that I didn't. I remember him helping me with a Pinewood Derby car when I was living in Burlington, Iowa, and we won first place. He was a brilliant man. Okay, let me put it this way: he was very smart. Okay, he was in real estate. He knew how to build things and to do that. And he was very good at it. Because he worked for Stop and Shop. He quit to start his own company, and it didn't work too well. And Stop and Shop hired him back in a heart because they knew how important he was to buying property, building new Stop and Shops. And so he retired from Stop and Shop with a really good pension. And then he moved to South Carolina. You know, that's it really in a nutshell. So I'm different from my dad in a sense. You know, I love movies, I love science fiction, I love toys. So I have a fondness for these things that I don't think he had. Signal here. You know, Iowa or Nebraska is long, and they have parts in Nebraska where they don't have. So I might lose the signal and might have to stop for a while. Okay, just so you know. I thought I would just talk as much as I can. I've lost 90% of my viewers. Why they'd even watch